Hello everyone, this is Ryumanchu. As promised, I would participate in the 12 Days of Anime, and what better way to do it than start with one of my favorite anime, essentially the anime that just pretty much that I got immersed into and just basically obsessed over. Well, obsessed over many other anime before, but this one really just made my top 10 number one spot for the longest time. And that anime is none other than Code Geass, the Lelouch of the Rebellion. And without further ado, I shall give a quick summary of what the series is, and then I'll basically just say my favorite moments of the series, and that'll be the end of that. The series is set in an alternate timeline where the world is split into three superpowers: Britannia, the Chinese Federation, and European Union, otherwise known as EU, well, abbreviated to EU. The story takes place after the Holy Britannia Empire conquest on Japan in August 10, 2010, by means of Britannia's newest weapon, known as the Ottoman Armed Knight, or Nightmare Frame. In turn, Britannia effectively stripped Japan of its citizens' rights, freedom, and essentially even its name, reclaim it, and essentially renamed it Area 11. The Japanese citizens themselves are referred to as 11s. Lelouch Lamperouge, or Lelouch v. Britannia, is an outcast Britannian prince who was sent as a bargaining tool to Japan, along with his sister Nonoli Lamperouge, by his father Charles V. Britannia, after his mother was assassinated, well, killed, essentially. And he basically wanted to know why, but his father never gave him a reason. So he went out of his way to essentially seek revenge against the Empire and his father. And he had plans to do this for the longest time, and he was going to set out and do that. And throughout the series, well, throughout the first episode, he acquired a power known as Geass. And Geass comes in many forms, but his in particular is absolute obedience. It's essentially what you think of a mind trick, that you basically just a Jedi mind trick but you have to just basically have direct eye contact. And once the issue is ordered by Lucius Geass, you are compelled to obey his command, no matter what. Now, on to my favorite part of this awesome series. My favorite part about Code Geass was essentially, I've been saying essentially a lot of times, this is basically kind of a heart-wrenching moment. It's and keep in mind, this will contain spoilers. I forgot to disclaim that. If you haven't seen far into Code Geass, then I suggest you turn away now. Or if you're getting started on the series, well, I'm going to have the belief that a lot of people has series, but you haven't, click the back button, exit your browser, switch browsers, do what you have to do. Alright, so it will be the death of Euphemia Britannia. What I like to call essentially a joke taken too far, quite literally. To Lucius' dismay, his Geass power basically lost control. And so, when he made a joke to Yuffie, he basically is revealing that, oh, he has his Geass to Yuffie, with Yuffie thinking that he was like joking or whatever, what have you. And then Lelouch just suddenly had the bright idea of joking about, oh, you should, I have this power that if I would, I can make you kill all the Japanese. Sure enough, the power activated, and then she becomes submitted to the power, and then yeah, she killed all the Japanese. And that scene, I was just heart wrenched. You can actually feel the emotion when Suzaku basically charged against his Lancelot. Well, right after Lelouch shot Yuffie with his gun, and that moment, it just really just Yuffie. Oh. But seriously, the series is brilliant. Every plot twist it does, it just keeps you on the edge of your seat. And it doesn't matter how many times I rewatch it. And yes, before you know, accuse me of just not mentioning anything about 2, I have the entire series. I just felt like this is worth mentioning alone. So, that being said, yeah, you haven't seen Code Geass, friggin' watch it. If you like your, antagonists, protagonists that are essentially anti-hero-ish, having a genius level, like essentially like Light Yagami from Death Note, this show might suit your taste. And if you turn away because of this is like a mecha genre or whatever, don't. The nightmares themselves are essentially an afterthought. So, and Sunrise does what they do best. And yeah, Code Geass, awesome series. I give it a Katar seal of approval.